Coming up next, we have Alex Chang, who's a mechanical engineering student at Tsinghua University in Taipei. She's been an intern at McKinsey and has also been an engineer at H. Spectrum, which is a biomedical startup incubator. And Alex's project that she's going to be telling us about is called Gary and Leslie. So please welcome Alex to the stage.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Alexandra Chang, and I will be representing the team, Gary and Leslie. So speaking from my personal observations in Taiwan, you don't get physically abused because you're gay, or you don't get legally suppressed because you're gay. But can we thus say we have already achieved equality? Definitely not. Because as long as there is someone out there who is so convinced that LGBT is wrong, is weird, then it proves that we still have a long way yet to go. So what we want to eventually do is for the society to truly join in on the quest for LGBT equality. To see that no matter what our sexual orientations may be, it is the bond between two people that truly matters. It is the love that counts. That is equality. So how can we do this? So we asked ourselves, what is something that people is usually familiar with? Something that you can't possibly dislike. And something that you are always unconsciously influenced by. So then it hit us. Cartoons. So what we're proposing is an online cartoon, Gary and Leslie with friends. The three main protagonists are Alex, Gary, and Leslie. So that's how we got our name. And a side note, I actually draw the prototype of Alex based on myself, if you can see the resemblance there. So the story starts on their first day of sophomore year in high school, and the cartoon will unfold as they meet like various different characters and friends along the way. So it will be a very coming-of-age setting where the characters will navigate their self-identity and aspirations throughout the laughs and cries in the traditional Taiwanese high school life. Every character will have different characteristics, have different personalities, different interests, and different sexual orientations. But what the most important message our cartoon wants to convey is that no matter how diverse we all are, love and friendship is the only thing that can truly unite us all. So why do we choose a cartoon? The two major value propositions for our project is one, to invest in the future, and the second, to create a platform for a much more inclusive community. So let's get down to the first point. Investing in the future. No matter it's today or the future, we all know that the path to equality will be a never-ending fight. But actually, I realized something, that it's not every battle is worth fighting for. For example, if you are here today this morning, last year, Taiwan was trying to push the same-sex marriage bill, as mentioned by the previous speaker, Mr. Qi Jiawei. So there was an initiative where we went out down to the streets and we wanted to explain to the general public about the details of the gay rights movement. But I discovered something weird. So there's only two types of people who responded to this. One is people like us, who is already a supporter for the LGBT community. And the second type is people who just run around shouting, sinful bastards, go to hell, every time they see a rainbow flag. But either way, we are not engaging in a useful or constructive conversation. So instead of locking ourselves in endless tug of wars between different ideologies, we want to change our methods a bit and target a completely different audience, children. We want to teach them the importance of love and respect before they are dented with a notion of prejudice. And during the process, we might even be able to make their parents or educators rethink what it really means to teach their youngsters about equality. Gary and Leslie focus so specifically on children because they are the pillars of the future. As one of my friends always like to say to us juniors, you are not fixing a generation, and you are not changing a generation, because you are the generation. So the next value, how do all of us fit into this project? As I am only one person, I can only know up to one lifetime of stories. But in order to construct a cartoon to which so much more people can relate, that is completely insufficient. We want to create something that is so plentiful and inclusive that every viewer like you guys can find a little piece of yourselves in between the lines. So what I'm saying is we want your stories. We want your voice. We want to know what you've been through and what you have to share with a larger and a larger spectrum. We want the LGBT community, the advocates, the allies to come together through Gary and Leslie and share with the world and speak out what they have to say. But that's not all. Not only do we want to gather these remarkable individual pieces, we want to push the boundaries. We want to eventually break the bubble so we can genuinely start a conversation with those who maybe once know nothing about or even oppose the LGBT equality concepts. That is what we want to do, from the community and for the community. So now that I've taken you through our main ideologies for the project, I will now run through some more practical matters. So during our starting phase, Gary and Leslie will be updating still comment trips once a week through channels such as Facebook and Instagram. And later on, we will be looking to transform our previous artworks into animations, because that's even cooler. So in terms of marketing and revenue generation, we will be looking into, we want to make Gary and Leslie with Friends into a brand. We will be cooperating with like YouTubers and companies. Actually, we already have a deal with a clothing brand, so you might be able to buy like a Gary t-shirt very soon. Is there anyone who would like to buy one? Oh, thank you. Okay. So we earn money from advertisement and collateral projects, and the cash flow in turns go back to the making of the cartoon, thus resulting in a sustainable business model. So this is just to give you a sense of how it will look like. It's just an example. And if you like this project, you can like us or you can support us. You can scan the QR code and you can see more about Gary and Leslie. Respect and understanding is something so easily said, but often too difficult to truly fulfill. All of us sitting down here knows this, but there are far too many who still doesn't. So once again, I want to reestablish the one simple goal we want to pursue with all of this. It is heterosexual, gay, lesbian, or transgender. These are the labels that will eventually fade to define us. Because at the end of the day, what truly matters, it will all come down to who we want to be with and who we want to be. Last, I want to end with a quote from the famous John Lennon. It matters not who you love, where you love, why you love, when you love, or how you love. It matters most that you love. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Alex, for the interesting ideas about how we can communicate to some of those audiences that can be harder to reach. So yeah, so we do have time for one suggestion or challenge or query for the idea of the Gary and Leslie cartoon as a way to engage using animation.
Do you think that Gary and Leslie has a similar sounding to one of this theme? Yeah, because gay and lesbian. Yeah, so yeah.
Okay, so it's where Gary and Leslie come from. Thanks very much, Alex.